Dr. Voodoo got a Transcendence and a brand new uniform, Strange Academy. His first upgrade since he was initially released. I love this character. Let's get into the build and talk about what we want to do with this. We got the uniform options here. They're pretty trash. We got Vision, War Machine, Thing, Magic, and Doctor Doom. But fear not, because he's bringing the Panic. Brand new ability, Panic, on his 6th skill with Man-Thing. And it increases basic damage received. Now, this may or may not apply to World Boss Legend. We'll have to wait and see. But it certainly applies in things like Dispatch. And it's amplified by his Leadership, which cranks it up to 42% increased damage dealt. So his Leadership becomes very attractive as a budget option for you Dispatch farmers, especially if you haven't built up tier 4s yet. So I highly recommend considering this uniform. Not necessarily buying it, but just considering it for that. As far as the build itself goes, I just have like a 140 proc on him right now, but he's very proc friendly, and it's also very easy to know how to play him. You just do 5-4 cancel immediately into 1, and then for the 1 skill, as soon as you see the glow, the green glow on the 1 skill, right there, the green glow in between the hands, that's when you can cancel it into the 3. So you do just like this, 5, let me turn that off here. We do 5-4, okay, chill. We do 5-4, 1, and then 3. Boom, and you're gonna get 100 hits like that. So you just take 308 divided by 3, you get 100 hits. Boom, as soon as you see the green, you're good to go, and yeah, gravy. And then if you want to add in the 6th skill, you just do 6, 5, 4, 1, and then boom, look at that. Super, like literally as proc friendly as it gets. Literally a 10 out of 10 for proc friendliness, and Man-Thing looks so cool to boot, which is dope. So yeah. I don't expect like huge meta breaking things from him. My build is pretty pedestrian, as you can see there. We have no artifact. We have Power of Angry Hulk stage 11, and we just have a dodge 140 proc obelisk. So nothing like insane. We are rank 47 though. Not a lot of people, I guess, are interested in Voodoo. Let's find out why. Another thing I forgot to mention, Dr. Voodoo also has a ignore dodge passive that applies to all allies. So on top of everything else, like on top of the 30% attack lead, he's also got the ignore dodge, which I think makes him a very, very good leadership, especially for accounts that haven't yet built up a ton of ignore dodge strikers to use. Like I'm using Nadia, I'm using Songbird, etc. You know, obviously tier 2s can be a lot cheaper to build than spending 1,000 crystals on a uniform for sure. And I'm not necessarily saying you should just buy it for that reason, but certainly better than some other leads out there who are just giving you like 30% attack or whatever, because he's also giving you that ignore dodge on top of it. Okay, we had just a little bit too little damage, but he's got the burst. Boom! So we skipped the phase anyways. I know this is only stage 9, but this is stage 9 with no supports, which is quite nice. And we're going to see how much further we can push him, don't worry. But I just wanted to do a little showcase here at the top to show you guys just how proc friendly he is. Absolutely ripping it. There's a little bit of an issue with his AoE for sure, as I can see there. But it's all right. We recover from that, and we're grooving. Absolutely grooving. Ooh, okay, just a little bit short there. I think he can do the 100-second challenge for sure. 100-second challenge, no supports. That's not bad. That's not bad, man. That's not bad at all. All right. Get down here, brother. Get down here. Okay, let's go. One more burst. One more burst and he's KO. We can do it in, come on. No, it's not gonna. Okay, 2 seconds off. Hey, 2 seconds off still though. All right, let's see how much higher we can push it. What about Gene stage 20 with a 140 proc? Can we make it work? Let's take a look at the pop off here. Okay, 3 bars. All right, it's something. We got to see what we're working with first of all. Okay, he's got a pretty short animation, so you can get out of tight spots pretty quickly because he finishes his 3rd skill pretty quick. But on the other hand, you got to do enough damage for it to matter in the first place. Which I don't think, spoiler alert, I don't think we're doing enough damage. But that's with a 140 proc, right? That's with a 140 proc. What if we enhanced it to a 200 proc? Dr. Voodoo with the CTP of Energy versus Jean Grey stage 20. Who do you got? I know who I got. Let's go, baby. Let's see that juice damage. Yes, sir. Down to the 55th bar. That's what you like to see. Gonna use the co-op skill to dodge there. Nice. All right. Pop it off. Got some decent burst. Got some like no joke, decent burst. And man, if you had a tier 3 instead, you'd be charging that thing up like crazy. 2, 1. Boom, pop off, king. Let's go. Yeah, I think a CTP of Destruction. That was my build suggestion. I think a CTP of Destruction would be great for him. A mighty CTP of Destruction. Because as you can see, his rotation finishes fairly early. And so you actually have a lot of downtime to run around and charge up your next proc. So something to think about if you are truly a Dr. Voodoo enjoyer and you want him to be as stacked as possible. I actually might transition mine to a CTP, to a mighty CTP of Destruction. I just wanted to show you guys what's possible with just an energy because it's a much more attainable build than, of course, you know, rocking with like a mighty from the get-go. But yeah, this is actually doable. This is crazy. You got to hit all your procs. And you got to be patient. This did take me a couple of runs, I'm not going to lie. But this is not bad at all, dude. Holy. That's crazy. He can actually do this stage. Stage 20 Gene. This is no joke. No joke. This is not like an easy breezy stage that any character can just come in here and clap. Especially transcended characters. A little bit sussy, bro. A little bit sussy. So yeah, we're not going to do the full clear. But I wanted to show you guys what Dr. Voodoo can do. So much more than a lead support, but he has that value to boot. And then I haven't even touched on the dispatch stuff. 24 hours later, and I did a bunch of dispatch testing, and I'm really happy with how Dr. Voodoo performed. Now, all of these tests were done with 0% Pierce because I think it's much more realistic to understand the value of Dr. Voodoo with 0% Pierce here, and it also means that it's going to apply to a wider range of players rather than me presenting results that only work if you have 25% Pierce. So in this first test, we wanted to set a baseline for speed, so I used 3 tier 4s, and they absolutely crushed the stage in 32 seconds. It's stage 7-1, and it's sort of like the earliest dispatch stage that you would want to farm anyways. Then I went in with a different team here. So I am using Voodoo lead now, but instead of using tier 4s, I'm using Miles and Dr. Octopus. Just 2 really strong level 80 characters. No tier 4s, and there's a Mighty Judgment on Miles and a regular Rage on Dr. Octopus. So nothing crazy. And they're both benefiting fully from all of Dr. Voodoo's buffs. They managed to take down stage 7-2, which I know is 1 stage higher, but it's essentially the same. Only 4 seconds slower. I think that is massive. They were not much slower than the first baseline team, which is crazy. What was even more impressive is I then compared to a White Fox-led team. White Fox has the same leadership ability, or at least part of the leadership ability of Dr. Voodoo, and she's also giving additional buffs to Miles. Now, she's not giving any of those extra buffs to Dr. Octopus, but she's still applying the leadership, right? Her actual leadership, not the passive to leadership allies. So, ostensibly, you're actually getting more buffs in the White Fox team than in the Dr. Voodoo team. And they ended up being slower. They ended up being 5 seconds slower than the Dr. Voodoo team, which I find very surprising. For the next test, I wanted to see just how far you could push Dr. Voodoo. So we went to the highest possible dispatch stage, still with 0% Pierce, using 2 tier 4s, Thor and Magneto. Magneto does have a brilliant rage, but Thor only has a mighty rage. So I do consider these builds, although very good, they're not, you know, completely unattainable. And again, you're just using Dr. Voodoo lead. Now, they did not succeed, but what I want you to focus on are 2 things. 1, they got to the boss against Hela, and 2, it only took them a minute to get through the first hallway. In contrast, the same team with White Fox, who again is giving super buffs to Thor, and then is still giving Magneto the increased debuff effect that Dr. Voodoo has as part of his leadership, this team not only did not make it to Hela at all, but they also took more than a minute to get through the very first hallway. So having these tests replicated at very high stages and at sort of medium difficulty stages, where you're seeing an almost 50% increase in the amount of time it takes. Look, it takes them more than 90 seconds to get through the first hallway. And then as you see here, they don't even make it to the Hela fight when the timer runs out on 3 minutes, in my opinion, is huge for Dr. Voodoo. I did one last test here, and I switched over to 25% Pierce. You can notice now the HP on my characters is much higher. This is the full Pierce team, and I just, out of curiosity, wanted to see how well they would do here on stage 13-5. I know it's a very difficult stage, but I wanted to go ahead again with two pretty obtainable, not too expensive, level 80 characters who have, you know, pretty average builds. In this case, we've got a Mighty Rage on Star-Lord, and we've got a Mighty Judgment on Miles Morales. And although they didn't finish, they were pretty close, right? We got to Hela with 90 seconds left. And I think if you had taken control of these characters and played them yourself at this point, when you get to the fight specifically against Hela, you could have min-maxed the damage better and applied the all defense down in a more sort of synchronized manner, maybe lined up Miles's procs better with his judgment. I don't know exactly what you would have to do, but this team got very close. Look at this. Hela's already at half HP, and this is fully on auto. So I genuinely think Dr. Voodoo is one of the best leads for Dispatch now. Keep it locked on the channel. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of Dr. Voodoo. I think he's the sleeper of this update for sure. Well balanced, unlike Strange. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.